Hi guys, this is Mrs. Saucetta. I'm here to show you how to complete your work for October 2nd, Friday, October 2nd. So you need to go to your Google Classroom, go to classwork, and then go to today's live Zoom, 10:02. Once you find the date, 10:02, you'll be in the right spot. Today we are going to take notes on speed, and then we're going to learn how to calculate speed together. Then you're going to complete independent work on STEM scopes. And a reminder that STEM scopes must be accessed through your Launchpad. So to take the notes, you're going to need two things. You'll need these two attachments. You need the actual notes, which should have your name on them. And we've done these notes before. These are fill in the blank notes. You also need the completed notes, which is a slideshow labeled speed. So the beginning part of our notes says when an object blanks over a period of time, the object is in motion. So we're going to have to be flipping back and forth unless you know how to split your screen, which you could do also. So split your screen might be easier. So you can have your notes on one side, and then you can have your filled out notes on the other side. So when an object blanks over a period of time, the object is in motion. So everything that you're going to fill in the blanks for today is in purple. So you have the option, you could highlight it and then copy it, Control C. When an object changes position in relation to a reference point over a period of time, the object is in motion. So you could highlight that, Control V, and paste it in, or you could just type it. When an object changes position in relation to a reference point over a period of time, the object is in motion. Then it says, can be described in terms of speed, velocity, and acceleration. So we're finished with this slide because it ended at acceleration. Now we can flip to the next slide. This slide says speed is the rate of motion. And in our notes it says speed is a blank. Speed is the, and then you can delete that. All right, rate of motion. Speed is a rate of motion. It depends on distance traveled and time taken to travel that distance. Speed equals blank. Speed equals distance divided by time. So you go here and write speed equals, and then distance, and then a line. It means divided, but if you don't know what that line means divided, then you can just write the word divided. Distance divided by time. The units are usually meters per second, but they could be miles per hour or something else as well. And then you're done with your notes, and it's time to practice. So your next slide says if you walk for 1.5 hours and travel a speed of 7.5 kilometers, what is your average speed? So I'm going to show you how to solve this. So we just said that speed is distance divided by time. This is an important thing to remember. You can't calculate speed if you don't know how. So it's distance divided by time. And so over here it gives us our time, which is hours. And then it gives us a distance, which is 7.5 kilometers. And just a reminder, to calculate speed, we need to take the distance and divide it by the time. So the distance is 7.5 kilometers. That's our distance. Our time, 1.5 hours. That's our time. So we need to take the distance and divide it by the time. And you can use a calculator. So 7.5 divided by 1.5. So you can take out a calculator, and once you take 7.5 and you divide that by 1.5, you will get 5. And then you'd use the units, kilometers per hour. The second problem, it gives us the distance. It says an athlete swims a distance from one end of the 50-meter pool to the other in a time of 25 seconds. What is the athlete's speed? So it gives us a distance. Our distance is 7.5. It gives us a time, 25 seconds. And it wants us to calculate the speed. To calculate speed, just remember distance divided by time. So the distance is 50 meters, the time is 25 seconds. So speed equals distance divided by time. You have your distance. So we can take the distance, that is 50 meters. Our time is 25 seconds. So you would take 50 meters divided by 25 seconds, and that would equal 2 meters per second. So just like when we were doing our net force, and I reminded you to use your units for newtons, I'm also going to remind you to use your units when calculating speed. I want you to notice that it's not just 7.5, it's 7.5 kilometers. It's not just 1.5, it's 1.5 hours. And then after you do the calculations, you carry the units over. It's 5 kilometers per hour. Down here we have our units, 50 meters, 25 seconds. Together it is 2 meters per second. So make sure you're using your units. Once you finish your practice problems, on your notes, there's more practice problems for you to continue on the slide. And so you'll go over these as well for practice, and it will tell you the answers as you're reviewing. Once you're done reviewing and practicing the practice problems, then you can exit out and go to STEM scopes to complete the rest of the assignment, because it says you complete independent work on STEM scopes. And you need to go to Launchpad to get to STEM scopes. So in case you're not sure how to go to Launchpad, the best way to get there is just to go to neisd.net. Then you click on Launchpad. And ask you to sign in. Once you get to Launchpad, there's actually a search bar up at the top, and you can just type in STEM scopes so you know what to do, and you don't have to search so much. So just go directly up to the top and then type in STEM, and that is the first thing that pops up, STEM scopes. Now yours will look different than mine because you're a student. Now when you get into your STEM scopes, you're going to see an assignment here. And I'll show you what it looks like. This is only the second assignment I've given you on STEM scopes. So you've already done the reading science A, and you're going to click on today, simulation practice, calculating speed. So you click on the simulation practice, calculating speed. This is what you'll see. You should have a full screen option, which is what you want to click on. So give it a minute to load. It says, welcome to the Robot Assembly Factory. I'm Buzz, the factory foreman. Here is where we are going to build all the robots we'll need to get to load up our rocket ships. We have a bit of a problem though. 5 identical robots somehow jumped from the storage unit before they got their identifying coats of paint. We need your help to identify each robot by figuring out its speed. By calculating each bot's speed, we can correctly assign each bot the correct job. That's where you come in. Our security cameras have taken pictures of the bots. Using these images, you can calculate the speed of all 5 bots. And then there's a how to play button. And so it's telling you here that it's going to show you the distance that he started at, 37, and the distance that he ended at, 27. And so to find out the actual distance, 37, 112. So he started at 37, he ended at 112. So to find that distance, you would take 112 on your calculator, and then you subtract 37. That would give you the distance. There's also a timestamp. It tells you how long it took for him to travel that distance. So he started walking at 110.06 in the morning, and he stopped at 110.11 So that is a total of 5 seconds. And so you would use your calculator and then submit your answer here where it says submit. So I'll do one with you. So now that you're here, you have to actually click on retrieve data. So when you're here to retrieve data, it's starting at a distance, starting at 55, and it ends at 116. So we need to find what's the distance between 55 and 116. So you're going to take 116, subtract 55, and that gives you 61. And so you might want a paper so you can write that down, 61. And now we need to find out the time because speed is distance divided by time. Speed is distance divided by time. And so it's 61 meters, and we need to find out how many seconds. So he started at 45 seconds, and he ended at 57 seconds. So if you can do that math on the calculator, you want to clear what you had, and then 57 seconds minus 45 seconds, that difference is 12 seconds. So our distance was 61 meters, our time was 12 seconds. And so now you have the distance, you have the time. Speed is distance divided by time. So you take your distance, which was 60, you divide it by, sorry, it was 61, and then divide it by the time, and the dividing symbol is a line. Divide that by 12, and that gives you your answer. 5, and then we want to round it up. And then you hit print it. And then you just keep doing this over and over again until you're done. And so this will just paint him a new color. And then you'll be taken back, you hit OK, and then you have to do it again, retrieve data. And you do the whole thing over again. Comment with any questions.